listening to the best podcast from the USA to the UK on GreatDayRadio.com.
Welcome to Great Day Radio's Money Talk podcast. I am your host, DJ Mikey D, along with my UK sister, DJ Sophia Grace. For this episode, we are going to break it down on finances, such as what is an annual percentage yield or API, what is compound interest, and much more. For our segment 2, I will share with you a source I use to make a few bucks here, and they're using Google. So get a pen and paper and prepare to learn, folks. You know what blows my mind? If you started with just 1 penny and doubled it every day for a month, you'd end up with over $5 million thanks to the power of compound interest.
Well, that's fascinating. And it really shows why understanding compound interest is so crucial for building wealth. Though most of us won't see that kind of dramatic growth, the principle remains the same.
Exactly right. And that brings us to something I've been researching lately, annual percentage yield, or APY. It's actually pretty wild how many people don't realize the difference between simple interest and compound interest.
Could you break down exactly what APY means for someone who's never really thought about it before?
So here's the thing. APY shows you the real rate of return on your money over a year, including all the compounding effects. Let's say you have a 5% interest rate that compounds monthly. Your actual APY would be 5.116% because you're earning interest on your interest 12 times throughout the year.
Oh, wow. And I imagine those small percentage differences can really add up over time, right?
Exactly. Let me give you a concrete example. If you invest $1,000 at 5% interest compounded quarterly for 10 years, you'd end up with $1,647. But here's where it gets interesting. If that same rate compounded monthly instead of quarterly, you'd earn even more.
Well, that reminds me of something I learned recently. Banks actually use different compounding frequencies, and it can make a huge difference in your returns over time.
You know what's fascinating about that? The math behind it all comes down to a pretty straightforward formula. It's like 1 plus Rn to the power of Nt, where R is your interest rate, N is how often it compounds, and T is the time period.
So if we're talking about practical applications, what would you say is the most important thing for people to understand about compound interest?
Well, I'd say the biggest thing is understanding the time factor. Einstein wasn't joking when he supposedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. The earlier you start, the more dramatic the effects become.
That makes me think about my own investment strategy. I've been focusing a lot on finding accounts with the highest APY, but maybe I should be thinking more about the long-term compounding effects.
You're onto something there. Let me share a mind-bending calculation. If you invest $200 monthly starting at age 25 versus age 35, the difference by retirement age can be well over $200,000, even with a modest return rate.
That's absolutely incredible and kind of terrifying if you think about the opportunity cost of waiting to invest.
Right, and here's another layer to consider. When we talk about compound interest, we're not just talking about savings accounts. This applies to investments, dividends, and even debt, though in that case, it's working against you.
Well, that brings up an important point about debt. Credit card interest often compounds daily, which is why those balances can grow so quickly.
Exactly. And that's why understanding APY is crucial for both sides of the financial equation. When you're looking at a credit card with a 20% APR, the actual APY could be significantly higher because of daily compounding.
You know, I've always wondered about the relationship between inflation and compound interest. How does that factor into the equation?
That's such a crucial point. We need to consider what's called the real rate of return. If your savings account is giving you 2% APY, but inflation is running at 3%, you're actually losing purchasing power over time, even though your nominal balance is growing.
Well, that certainly puts things in perspective. No wonder financial advisors always stress the importance of investing in assets that can outpace inflation.
And speaking of investment strategies, let's talk about something called the Rule of 72. It's this fascinating shortcut that helps you estimate how long it will take your money to double. You just divide 72 by your interest rate.
Oh, interesting. So with a 6% return, it would take about 12 years for your money to double.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. At 9%, your money doubles in 8 years, and at 12%, it only takes 6 years. The acceleration is remarkable.
That makes me think about diversification. You'd want to balance those potentially higher returns with more stable investments, right?
Absolutely right. Think of it like a garden. You want some fast-growing plants that might be more delicate, balanced with steady, reliable growers. The key is letting compound interest work its magic across different types of investments.
Well, that brings up another question. How should people think about reinvesting dividends versus taking them as income?
That's where the power of compound interest really shows itself. When you reinvest dividends, you're essentially supercharging the compounding effect. Each dividend payment buys more shares, which then generate more dividends, creating this beautiful snowball effect. And
that reminds me of something Warren Buffett once said about how a large percentage of his wealth came from investments he made after he was 50.
You know what's fascinating about Buffett's story? It's the perfect illustration of compound interest at work. The growth wasn't linear. It was exponential. The first million was the hardest, but then each subsequent million came faster and faster.
Well, that certainly puts things in perspective for long-term investing strategies.
And here's another aspect people often overlook: the psychological component of compound interest. It requires patience and discipline to let your money grow without touching it. It's like watching water boil. It seems like nothing's happening until suddenly it's bubbling over.
That's such a good analogy. And it probably explains why so many people struggle to stick with their investment plans.
Exactly right. And you know what's interesting? Studies have shown that people who check their investment accounts less frequently actually tend to get better returns. They're less likely to make emotional decisions based on short-term market movements.
Well, that's certainly something to think about in our age of constant connectivity and real-time updates.
Let me wrap this up with what I think is the most important takeaway. Compound interest is like a financial superpower that's available to everyone, but it requires 3 things: understanding, patience, and time. The earlier you start, the more powerful it becomes.
That's really well put. And I think it's a perfect note to end on. Understanding these concepts can literally be worth millions over a lifetime.
Exactly. Folks, stay tuned in for segment 2 as I give you some knowledge where you can start making money today. If you are on TikTok or Instagram, be sure to visit greatdayradio.com to listen to segment 2. Until next time, peace.
You are listening to the People Station on greatdayradio.com.
Welcome back to greatdayradio.com. As promised, I am going to share with you information on how to start making a few bucks here and there. What I am talking about is the Google Opinion Rewards app, which represents a notable development in the micro-earning landscape, offering users a legitimate way to earn supplemental income through survey participation. This Google Consumer Surveys creation serves both Android and iOS users, though with different reward structures for each platform, making it accessible to a broad range of smartphone users seeking additional income opportunities. The foundation of the app centers on a straightforward exchange. Users complete surveys to earn rewards. The initial setup process requires downloading the app from either the Google Play Store or Apple App Store, followed by creating a detailed profile through demographic questions. This profile information serves a crucial purpose, enabling Google to target relevant surveys to each user, thereby increasing the frequency and relevance of earning opportunities. The earnings mechanism differs significantly between platforms. Android users receive compensation in the form of Google Play credits, which can be applied toward digital purchases, including apps, games, music, movies, and other entertainment content within the Google ecosystem. iOS users, in contrast, earn actual monetary compensation delivered through PayPal, offering more flexibility in how rewards can be utilized. This platform-specific distinction plays a crucial role in determining the app's value for different users. Survey notifications arrive periodically throughout the day or week, with most questionnaires designed for quick completion, typically requiring less than 60 seconds. The brevity of these surveys makes them easily manageable during short breaks, commutes, or other moments of downtime. Compensation varies, but generally falls within the range of 10 cents to $1 per survey, positioning this as a modest earning opportunity rather than a primary income source. And to maximize earning potential, users should maintain up-to-date profile information and demonstrate consistent responsiveness to survey notifications. Google's algorithm shows a preference for active users, rewarding regular participation with increased survey frequencies. This creates an advantageous cycle where engaged users receive more opportunities to earn, though the overall income remains supplemental rather than substantial. Beyond the immediate financial benefits, participation in Google Opinion Rewards offers users the opportunity to influence product development and service improvements across various industries. Survey responses contribute to meaningful market research that shapes future consumer experiences, adding a deeper layer of engagement to the earning process. This aspect appeals to users who value the ability to impact product development and market trends. The app's primary value proposition revolves around convenience and minimal effort requirements. For individuals who regularly use smartphones, completing quick surveys can seamlessly integrate into daily routines without requiring significant time investment or special skills. The low barrier to entry and simple interface make it an attractive option for those seeking easy supplemental income without complicated requirements or extensive commitments. However, maintaining realistic expectations about earning potential is crucial for user satisfaction. While the app provides a legitimate method to earn extra money or credits, the income is inherently modest and variable. Users should approach it as a convenient way to earn small bonuses rather than viewing it as a significant income source or replacement for traditional employment. With that being said, what I do is have that money go directly into my PayPal savings account that has a 3.80% APY return. If you have a PayPal account, look at starting a savings account. It is free to establish. The platform's success stems from its emphasis on simplicity and accessibility. There's no complex learning curve or specialized knowledge required. Users simply need to share honest opinions about products, services, or experiences. This straightforward approach makes it accessible to a wide range of participants, regardless of technical expertise or professional background. For those evaluating Google Opinion Rewards, key considerations include platform choice, Android versus iOS, reward preferences, store credits versus PayPal Cash, and willingness to engage regularly with surveys. The app's design prioritizes user convenience, making it easy to participate without disrupting daily routines or requiring significant time commitments. The sustainability of earnings varies significantly based on user location, demographics, and activity levels. Users in urban areas or near retail locations typically receive more surveys related to shopping experiences and local businesses. Similarly, individuals who frequently interact with various businesses and services may find themselves qualifying for more surveys, leading to increased earning opportunities. Privacy-conscious users should carefully consider the app's data collection practices. The service collects demographic and location information to match surveys appropriately, which helps provide relevant opportunities, but also raises important privacy considerations. Users should review Google's privacy policies thoroughly to understand how their personal data is utilized and protected within the system. The integration with existing Google services provides particular advantages for Android users already invested in the Google ecosystem. The ability to apply earnings directly to Play Store purchases creates a seamless experience for those who regularly purchase apps, games, or digital content, effectively reducing out-of-pocket expenses for these items. For iOS users, the PayPal Cash rewards offer greater flexibility in how earnings can be utilized. While payment thresholds may vary by region, the direct cash compensation provides more versatility compared to store-specific credits, allowing users to spend their earnings however they choose, rather than being limited to digital content purchases. The app's regular survey opportunities and prompt payment processing contribute to its reliability as a supplemental income source. Users consistently report receiving surveys, though frequency varies, and payments are processed according to the platform's specific systems without significant delays or complications. This reliability helps establish trust and encourages continued participation among users. Okay, folks, I hope this information will help your pockets get a little fatter. Stay tuned in as we continue to explore more opportunities to help you increase your income. Also, be sure to sign up for our newsletter as we announce new contests and giveaways. Continue to share the love, and thank you for listening to GreatDayRadio.com. Peace out. Here's something wild. Radio contests used to be about being the ninth caller, but now they've evolved into sophisticated digital ecosystems worth billions in engagement value.
That's fascinating. How do you think these stations manage to transform simple giveaways into such valuable community-building tools?
Well, it's actually quite brilliant when you look at the psychology behind it. Studies show that digital engagement combined with traditional radio creates a 40% higher retention rate for listeners. They're tapping into multiple reward centers in our brains.
You know what really stands out to me? The way they've maintained that personal touch, even as everything's gone digital.
Exactly. And here's the really interesting part. Newsletter subscribers are 5 times more likely to participate in future station events. They've turned what could be just another promotional tool into this vibrant community hub.
So it seems like they're building something much bigger than just contest.
That's right. And get this, stations using this integrated approach see an average 300% increase in listener engagement compared to traditional radio-only formats. They're not just giving away prizes anymore. They're creating loyal community members who stick around for years.
The whole approach really shows how media engagement has evolved into something much more sophisticated. With that being said, if you are a company or need to get your product or brand noticed, have you considered utilising our contest platform to help promote your brand? Visit greatdayradio.com and click on advertising for more information. Likewise, sign up with our latest newsletter to see how it works firsthand.
We are in the mix with a continuous party mix on greatdayradio.com.